What's good, folks? Welcome to another edition of the Cover One Film Room, the show that gives you the hows and the whys behind both the good and the bad of the Buffalo Bills. I am one of your two hosts, Anthony Prohaska, joined as always by Eric Turner. And Eric,
yes,
the film room heater continues, player after player after player. We have another player joining us today. We stick in the trenches for this one, which is an awesome aspect of the game that we love to talk and break down, and to have somebody actually in the room and play such a central role to the trenches. Really exciting episode today.
Yeah, I mean, last week we had Alec Anderson, but this one's going to be it's going to be fun because Connor McGovern is joining us today, and honestly, having Connor in the film room, what's going on, Connor? Having you in the film room, man, we're very excited because you're so integral to the offensive line when it comes to the run game, when it comes to pass protection. So we're super excited to have you join us today in the film room.
I'm glad to be here. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, we're super pumped. And, I guess we'll jump right into you going into the 2024 season. You come to Buffalo, season before that, playing guard, continuity, offensive line, all that kind of stuff. Then you moved to center in 2024. Was there anything for you in transitioning, back to that spot? Was there anything you had to work on physically or mentally going into 2024, or even actively during the season, kind of transitioning back to that spot and moving from guard?
Yeah, I kind of say it's like riding a bike. So my natural position is center. Back all the way through high school, played all the way through high school, got to Penn State, switched over pretty early on the guard, went back to center, went back to guard, got drafted as a center actually. After my rookie year in Dallas, got switched to guard with the new coaching staff, went through, and then when I signed here, I was told early on, like, whenever Mitch retires, moves on, I'll be the next center. And then that came to fruition last year. And it was kind of just getting back in the movement with it, getting used to Josh. The one thing, I love Mitch, but he'll even say it, like, he snaps off to the left. Yeah. So that's what Josh has been used to for so many years. So it took us a couple months to just get used to it in the offseason, summer, and then just taking live reps together during camp to get used to each other, him getting actually centered up again. So, like, even though you think it's, just get under center, it's easy, he's just so conditioned at the beginning to go snap left that he had to just go back to his basics.
Yeah, it's funny because I think he just appeared on Eric Wood's podcast and said he's pretty much a left butt cheek center. Like, every time he snaps it, it's to the left butt cheek. I'm interested in prior to coming to Buffalo, was there a scout, a coach that heavily recruited you? Was Cromer involved? Like, who was involved at bringing you to Buffalo? Did you have a lot of conversations with anyone in the organization prior to coming over as a free agent?
So it came down to there was a couple teams last involved. Like the year before, I knew I was kind of leaving Dallas. It was just written on the walls. And so I sat down with my team and we did a lot of research, and we came up with like 3 landing spots where, like, ideally if we could pick, money's not an option, like where I want to play, where it fit in. And the star on the wall was Buffalo. And of course, you have Josh Allen, you have great offense, you got all these great minds around. And that was always the place I wanted to go. And I remember it came to free agency. I had a couple of other offers to go other places for more money. And I remember Josh actually called me and recruited me to come to Buffalo. And I was kind of like, all right, if he's willing to put himself on the line like that, like, I definitely want to come here. And then Ryan Bates sold it to me too. And then got here and loved it ever since.
That's awesome. With you kind of having an idea of, coming into play guard for the Bills that first year, and then knowing that eventually you'll kind of be moving to center, like you alluded to, that first year when you were, obviously taking all those reps at guard, was there anything you were kind of doing mentally in preparing for that move to center? Were you like making notes, or kind of mentally, or even in actuality, and things of like, okay, like down the line, I'll have to know this or have to know that, to kind of dual prepare to kind of get ahead of it a bit?
Yeah, I would say even like back to my rookie and like second year in the league, like even though I was playing guard, like my O-line coach always taught me, like, hey, learn all 5. It just makes the game easier. Just expand your football IQ. My third year, I played fullback, so that even helped even more. So when I got here, I was like, okay, I could just know guard, but it would be easier. It's a faster process learning the offense if you just learn all 5 positions at once. And then that made the transition this year even easier when I already knew the offense. Joe Brady kept it the same, and it was just a lot easier.
And I'm sure Cromer, OTAs, mini camps, he was having you guys move around. That's typically his MO as well. So game days, game week, would you say is the most critical meeting or field exercise or segment during practice that, you go through leading into game?
Yeah, I would say Wednesday morning is our most important meeting. It's our run install. And I would say Cromer and Joe Brady did a great job of starting in when Joe Brady took over in 23 of getting the running backs, other guys with us in the offensive line meeting. So they saw how we want to install, like how we plan on blocking up. We see where they want to cut, what they see, what we see. And I think that's what really elevated our run game. We kept it going this year, and I think that helped a lot. Now I'd say practice, probably Thursday practice are most important. Like not even like going over the plays or anything like that. It's more like our individual. Crum does a great job. Like that's when we do a lot of our pass pro drills, stuff like that. We work on like snapping games off, manning stuff like that. It's just little stuff like that. It doesn't look like we're doing too much, but it's really technical. So we're not killing ourselves like going out in each other, but a lot of using our hands, getting extension, just hand placement, stuff like that. Just where need your footwork to go, like when you're just reaching someone. So like Thursdays are really like detail everything in.
I love it. Now, when you guys are doing install or learning new parts of the game plan early in the week, I know a few years ago when Josh was, younger and still coming up, still learning, he had a different way of learning. And I'm sure a lot of guys, learn that way. Do you guys still do a lot of that install where, everyone's watching the practice in the rafters and then there's guys on the field kind of doing the walkthroughs and stuff like that? Or is it just in the meeting rooms when you're doing the install, kind of like the old school way?
I would say like how we go over everything. So in the mornings we'll install it, go walk through, then practice, and then you come out after practice, watch everything that you just did. And then if there's any other questions or any last minute installs, do it then like, so Wednesday's run game, Thursday we'll do the pass install in the morning, do the same thing, go through, walk through practice. Friday is just, we do no meetings at all, just all straight walkthrough. So you get feel everything on field, which is nice. And then you go out to practice. It's a fast flow day, feel good. Saturday, lock everything in, get out there, move around a little bit again, and Sunday you play.
Sweet.
As a run game person, I love that, like, part of your answer there. The leadoff was like, oh, that Wednesday morning. It's like run install. It's so important. Yeah. It's just so even.
Your week really truly started when it's Wednesday morning.
Yes, there you go. Love that. And speaking of, some run game stuff, it's so topical now with what you guys have done with the Bills, what the Eagles have done, and even just some kind of the way the league has gone. The QB sneak stuff, the tush push, however anybody wants to go about it. The Bills, you guys have been tremendously successful. 36 rushes last year, 63 yards, 7 touchdowns, an 80.6 success rate. Mm-hmm. Obviously, so many people have attached the QB sneak and how it's gone to the Eagles. Did you guys incorporate anything from the Eagles? Did you study their tape a bit, or do you think you guys run it differently? Yeah, go ahead. Yeah,
we run it very differently. So if you see, ours is not really a QB sneak; it's more of a duo. Then let Josh pick where he wants to hit the hole.
So if you see,
if you see, it depends. If I have a head up nose, I'm taking a 1-on-1, try to forklift, and Osiris is actually coming down an angle. So is Spencer. So wash everything down, and then Dave and Dion are going straight ahead. And then Josh kind of picks all right, A gap's open, B gap, then try to find his way through. And then he's a massive human being, so he can take one or two guys with him too.
That's a great answer.
That's a great answer and great way to put it, because, we break that play duo down a bunch. And so that kind of leads me into the question about what the Chiefs did against you guys when it came to this play, right? Well, what are some things that stood out to you, and was it something different that they did that maybe other teams didn't?
I would say first, they were one of the first teams to realize, because we ran it against them the first time we played them during the season, and last year we did the same way. They did a great job. Chris Jones practically almost head up with me, just his get off too. Yeah. So that's one thing when you're playing on the road, it's a little bit harder. And they were one of the first teams to realize how we truly run it, and how they're just diving multiple guys in the gap and just trying to keep Josh directly in the A gap, not let him get out to the B or get really moving. Yeah. And we don't really come behind like the Eagles do and push. Mm-hmm. And we're just trying to more run it like duo, and they did a great job of stopping it. And I don't even know how many times we ran at that game, but I ended up at a lot of bottom of the pile a lot of times.
God, that's kind of sucked to speed. How in these sneaks for you as the center, how brutal is that to be at that spot?
I would say how we run it, it sucks. I'll just say that it sucks. It's not fun, but the worst is David Edwards has it. So he's truly the tip of the spear because he's going straight forward.
Yeah.
And that's it. So most of the time he lands at the bottom, I land on top of him, and then everyone else falls on me. But everyone usually just sees me get up first, and he gets up pretty quickly.
Yeah.
So he's truly getting the worst of it in our scheme. But like how the Eagles do in tush push, like Cam Jurgens is taking most of that blow. Like, so we do a little bit different. I'm still at the bottom of the pile, so it's still not fun, but Dave still taking the worst.
And it seems like you talked about Osiris kind of slanting down. It seems like the Eagles, all of their offensive linemen are kind of funneling down.
They make almost like, it's like a flying V they do, and they just keep pushing, almost like a rugby scrum. They keep pushing.
Nice. That's a really great way to put it. I guess I feel like I need to go back and watch the tape because you describing it as like a QB, like almost like a QB duo.
Yeah.
Has me extremely intrigued now. That's a really great, that's a really great way to put it. I like that. Just again, you at the center spot, the mental side of the game that's traditionally attached to a center.
Yeah.
Walk us through a bit, if you can, your process in terms of what are you looking for from the moment you break the huddle to the snap. You're getting down, hand on the ball, like kind of just walk us through a little bit what goes through your head, checks, or anything you kind of give us a little peek behind the curtain into your world mentally at that spot.
Yeah. So the first thing, while we're in the huddle, we'll have someone, either Cromar or say it's Alec or Said or last year Will Clapp on the sideline, and they're letting us know like what the defense's personnel is. So they'll hold up something. So like I don't have to count if someone's running on, running off. I can just focus on Josh. So they'll hold up a symbol. I'll see that. I'm like, okay, they're in this personnel. So I can start thinking in my head what they're going to be in. We get the play, break the huddle. And as soon as I'm going out, I'm looking for safety rotation, anything, just stuff like that. See what front they are. If there's anything funky going on, let the guys know. Get up, make my mic point. Even though you heard it last week with Alec, even though we're not declaring the mic, we call everything that I declare as the mic point. Like, so it's a little confusing. Like you're like, that's actually the Sam linebacker, but we're calling it the mic. That's what it means. It's our mic point. So that lets everyone know that's who I'm going to, or in that situation, or one of the first double teams is going to, and then everyone's off that.
Beautiful.
And how much do guys like Spencer Brown, Deion Dawkins help? You talked about the safety rotations. Obviously, for a quarterback, that's one of the first things they look at is, hey, where are the safeties at? Are they in 1 or 2 eye structure? But obviously, as a center, that's something you pay attention to because it changes the defensive structure. It changes run fits. It changes a lot of things. So how important are the guys next to you at helping communicate what they see? Because maybe, again, you got a lot of things going on. Maybe even some more than some of the other players on the offensive line.
That's a huge, my right-hand man, even though he's on the left side, is David Edwards. So he's constantly seeing things. So like, say if we have a run going right, like I might only be looking right at first, like trying to get everyone in situation. He might see something late coming down. Like he's constantly talking to me.
Very smart.
Both our tackles, Dion and Spence, are great in the pass game. Let me know, because I can't always see everything, like just the way we have gigantic offensive linemen. So if someone's up on the edge in one way, I can't see over Spencer. That's a tree over there. So he'll let me know then, and then we could change protection if we need to. Me and Josh are constantly always communicating. So one thing you probably notice, like when I get up the line, I give up thumbs up. And that's me talking to Josh, or I turn around, talk to him. So at home, like I can actually talk to him one-on-one, or he comes up behind me, we're talking. So me and him are constant communication. So I might have my head turned one way and something might happen. That's when Dave's talking to me, make sure I saw that, or just make sure we're all on the same page. So we do a great job of everyone seeing things and make sure everyone's on the same page.
Yeah, the mental side of offensive line doesn't get like talked about enough. And usually when it does, it's attributed to the center, but I love that kind of encapsulation of it being the whole line. One of the pieces you mentioned, and you kind of come to the line, checking safety rotation, you're looking to see if there's like anything funky from the front perspective. What would or is there something like you personally, or like you guys as a group classify as something like, like what's a red flag for you coming out that would be like kind of classified as
it could be like, so we're coming to the front and we see a load front. So there's 3 big D linemen on one side, and we have a linebacker walking around like the Rams did to us a lot last year, like 10 games.
Hoyt broke that down with us. Yep.
So as soon as you see that antennas are going up, you're like, hey, something's happening. Games, like beware. Like Dave on the other side might get picked, and just things like that.
Yeah.
Or if you see a safety walk down, you're like, okay, is he coming off the edge, or they're showing it one way and they're bringing blitz off the other edge, like just stuff like that. So you're just constantly checking with each other what's happening.
So motion's big across the NFL, and I'm just interested in how motion, when you guys run motion, how that can change pass protections and why it changes pass protections at times.
Yeah, I would say it has the most to do in the running game. So, like, I know a lot of like young centers have this problem. Like, they'll come up, like there'll be a motion to play, defense looks one way, they come up and get their ID going. All of a sudden, motion happens and everything just changes. Then you're trying to communicate the last second. So make sure like those ones, like guys who get up to the line, like panic that I haven't made a call yet, but you hear in the play that there's a motion, let them get set, re-mic. Josh knows, like, give us another extra second or two. That's why we wait, like make sure we break the clock at the right time. So we have time to do that, because you don't want to mic something, someone doesn't hear the second, like you're redoing it. So you want to do it all one take and make sure it's good to go. Then pass game, same thing can happen. Like, move guy across and all of a sudden, say Sam linebacker's on the ball and all of a sudden he moves out and now someone else is coming down to take his spot, or vice versa. Safety's down. He goes out with the running back in motion. Now linebacker's coming down on the edge.
Yeah, it definitely can change things. And I know for like years, I know early on in Josh's career, there wasn't a lot of motion with the offense that he was running back then. And I know a lot of that had to do with how it can change protections, how it can change run fits, and they didn't want to overload him at times. Again, early in his career. Now, obviously, you guys have everything at your disposal. So
yeah, so many things going on.
With that said, we're going to jump into some film now. We're going to take a look at 5 plays here from last season. So keep in mind, Connor, any scheme, techniques, assignments, any little nuggets you want to throw out there, use the language, use the jargon. We'll translate when possible. We're going to start off pretty easy. We're going to start off with something we talked about, the QB sneaks. This was a play you had kind of highlighted when it came to the QB sneaks. But
I already know this was going.
Walk us through the process of this play. Walk us through the cadence, something as simple as the cadence when you guys are running this QB sneak 36 times, as we said last year.
Yeah. So like this 4th and 1, we know we get to a certain percentage, like the field. We have data analytics guys that like, all right, we get to this range, we're going for it. Here we scored a first drive. I think this is the second drive of the game. Like, all right, keep the hammer down. So we're going for this right now. Like, defense is playing great. Like, if God forbid we don't get it, our defense is going to stop them. So we get up, we call the quarterback sneak in. I assume it was probably third, like didn't get the first down. So quickly on the ball, everyone's running up and Josh makes a call, get the quarterback sneak in. Cadence stays the same. So in this case here, I'm like, all right, I have a head up nose, and he goes submarine technique me, just try to cut me. So I'm like, I got to get as low as I can, just block him up. You see Osiris and Spencer come down at the angles. Then now Dave and Dion have the double team, and they're just trying to blast the guy forward and either blow him up to 23 or just take him out of the play. And then Dawson's come down and take 5 and let Josh just find a hole. And then you see me end up on the ground, and a lot of fun.
You mentioned the data and the analytics piece, and I guess even just from your own mindset of like being on the field with how successful you guys have been with this sneak, is that kind of does it come into preparation at all? Or I guess maybe even into your mind during drives, knowing like, okay, like worst case scenario, if we get into like 4th and short like this, even like 4th and like 1.5 yards almost, like we know we have this weapon that we can use. Does that kind of function into the preparation or your in-game mindset as you're going drive to drive?
Yeah, I would say as a competitor, you're always like, I don't want to get off the field. Like, it's 4th and 2. Why not just do it? Like, let's go ahead. But that's where McDermott and everyone else comes in like, hey, like this is our range. Like once we cross the minus 40-yard line, like be ready, like 4th and short, we're going for it, get right up on the ball. We're hitting that quarterback sneak. So stuff like that, you just constantly prepared for. But I would say as a competitor, you're just always ready to go. And when that quarterback sneak's coming, that adrenaline starts pumping even more.
Now, as we said, 80.6 success rate on QB sneaks last year. But again, the way it ended in the Chiefs game, it's a copycat league. Do you guys expect to maybe tweak some things, or at least maybe add on some other, I don't know, some little tweaks to augment what you guys have now that the Chiefs put that on tape?
Yeah, I would say Joe Brady and Cromer, they do a great job at always disguising things. So I wouldn't be surprised if we change a little bit. Like we changed our QB sneak a little bit this year, just to comfort, like get Josh more comfortable with it, or just stuff like that. Just because me and Dave don't play the same way at guard, and me and Mitch don't play the same way at center. Just feeling things out. So it could be easy as next year. Like maybe we throw an option to Ty Johnson and James Cook in there and get off the edge, or just something simple like that to keep teams guessing.
Absolutely. And that's exactly what we're thinking about. Cause I know A lot of fans had talked about that. They wish there was a little wrinkle, and I'm like, and Anthony and I were like, they're gonna pull it out in the playoffs. They're gonna pull it out. Well, unfortunately, you guys didn't.
We were waiting for that wrinkle or a pass to Alec Anderson out of a 6 offensive line. So we were waiting for one of those two things.
Let's work on his hands a little bit first.
Oh dang! I love it. Well, speaking of hands, Ty Johnson actually has really good hands. This is the next play we're going to break down. 41-yard screen touchdown against the Rams. So on this play, I want you to walk us through the scheme, the technique, the assignment, but also how, you saw Johnson motion a little bit. You see Shakir motion a little bit. Talk about what that does maybe to the purpose behind it and what that does to your assignment. On this play, again, a big block by you to spring Ty Johnson for the touchdown.
Yeah, so the first thing here, I know screen's going left. And first thing I come up and look if we have safety, linebacker, someone on the ball that it's immediate threat. So we have to slide to him right now because on a screen left, I want to slide right, kind of show that we're doing a pass protection to the right, give myself a little time so I can get flat down the line.
Yeah.
So if there's no threat like here, I'm like, all right, keep it right. Then now I'm thinking I'm going to be the first one out because I have an open gap. David Edwards is going to be number 2. He's going to flash his guy, try to throw him inside and get out. And then Dion, he has the most important block here to start it off. So if you see, he has a gigantic left paw right here. He's going to throw it right in Zero's face just to kind of keep him occupied. Think, all right, pass is coming. He kind of wants to get a beat up the field, but he wants to cover his face so he can't see that Josh is setting up the screen. So right there, you see just little pat right to the face. And then that gives Josh enough time to throw it over the tie and me enough time to get down the line to throw at the linebacker here. And then that gives Dave time to be the second out and clear up anything that I don't get. And then here, I know it kind of looks like blocked in the back, but we practice this all the time. Yeah, it's clean. Yeah. So you don't want to just absolutely, if they're breaking like that, you don't want to just kind of get in front and throw your head or anything like that. Easy penalty. And what you want to do is actually throw your opposite hand. So I'm running left. I want to throw my right hand and kind of push him by because the ref can't really see that in the back. He can't see my right hand. So if I throw just my left, he's going to say, oh, that's easy block in the back. Penalties come and plays coming back. Or if I throw my left, I might pull him, something that's easy to see. Right hand, ref can't see that. And then David Edwards going down the field and playing cleanup. Yeah. And then Mack Hollins too.
Yeah.
I like that little sneakiness of using the opposite hand. That's right up there with I remember hearing DBs more in college, but DBs wearing trying to wear the glove color of their opponent's jersey. So if they're grabbing, you wear a white glove for a white away jersey, so that way the refs can't see you grabbing and clutching as much. I like that's a nice one.
Yeah.
Talk about it just screens in general. You alluded to some of it in some of the points you were breaking down here. Whether it's this kind of screen or anything, it could be a quick little smoke screen, it could be a tunnel screen, it could be a running back screen, wide receiver, whatever. Just talk about how important the timing of all of it is. There's such a fine line between a good screen and a bad screen, and it's almost like a millisecond or the 10th of a second, and it all happens so fast.
So we have slow screens, fast screens, and it all comes down to the deception first. So when I come we're going left, but I want to show that we're going to our right, kind of setting the protection. And then I know in my head, I'm like, all right, I get 2 kicks, I'm out now. 1,001, 1,002, go. Because I'm not the fastest guy. So I got to know my 1,002, Ty Johnson's probably getting the ball right then. And I got to go straight down the line. So you might think in your head, all right, if I go on an angle, I could beat this guy. But the fastest way to get to the second line, because they're breaking downhill, is actually go straight across the line. Mm-hmm. And I'm thinking he's trying to beat in that point. So I'm just trying to get as long as I can and just get Ty by in this point.
Now, you said you were the first out, David's the second. Does that ever change? Does that based on the
can easily change? So if we came up here and say Brandon Frisk here crosses my face, Dave instantly going right now. As soon as he crosses, he'll be gone. And if he takes me, Osiris then knows all right, I can add on to this. Go. He's our rat kill, we call it. So he's cleaning up anything on the inside. If there's a late leak, he's not getting downfield, but he's just kind of just hammering anything that see how he turns around there. He's checking Frisk there. Zero retraces. He's going to get in front of that and just slow it down. So just the 3 of us are kind of, without saying anything, just watching each other to see who's going to be 1, 2, and 3.
Love it. All right, let's move on to the 46-yard touchdown by James Cook against the Patriots. So on this play, I want you to talk about IDing that mic, first of all, and then when on this play, we see you kind of chop down the hands of defensive linemen. When do you use that versus just traditionally, trying to reach that guy? When do you use that technique that I'm sure that Cromer loves to see you execute on film?
Yeah. So the first thing about this play, it almost doesn't happen. So we get up and seeing rotation to the right. Like, so we're originally running to the right here.
Okay.
And we get our keel correct here. So you see me now, I'm already re-miking it. We're going left now. Like, so I'm miking with 46 or whatever. Yeah, right there. And I'm telling everyone, but then I think it was this one. Osiris didn't hear me at first. So I start talking to him. And now everyone thinks we're reverting back. So now I'm trying to point it out. Josh is trying to get going. We're not really sure. We're not on the same page. So I'm trying to point it out. I'm like, no, like telling him like, hey, safety's down. Like we're getting out of this. And Dave's hitting me. He's like, we got to go. There's 2 seconds. So you just see Josh doesn't even give a cadence here. I snap it and we just go. So it just happened just to work out like that there was no cadence. Just everyone's talking and someone heard the wrong thing at first. So we're clarifying everything. Dave tells me, hey, 2 seconds, we got to go. I snapped it at 1 second and we just went from there.
So let me ask, when we're talking about IDing the Mike, again, it doesn't always have to be the middle linebacker, the Mike linebacker, but on these zone runs, is there a count system? Like how are you, how and why are you IDing him as the Mike on this zone run to the left? So
basically I'm doing it. So outside zone to the left, I'm IDing who I would be working to. Okay. But in this case, since I have a nose here, I'm taking that. He's number 1. Now, Dave and Dion are going to work to number 2 and 3, who are the linebacker in the end. Yep. Then Alec and Reggie split off from that.
Okay.
So then here, my thinking is just what type of player I have in front of me versus we're trying to get outside now. I'm thinking jump, snatch that, kind of my guard technique from last year and the years before I learned. Jump, pull him into me. All right, if he kicks my ass, blows me at the field, ball's already gone. Yep, if I try just reaching him, he might fight over the top. I might get tripped up with someone. He might make the play 5-6 yards downfield. But if I jump, pull him into me, make him lose his momentum, James Cook's already gone. Like, so he can beat me all day. He wants to push me with the field, but the ball's already in the end zone by the time. Yeah.
Your length, like your arm length, like helps you a lot on a rep like this. Just talk about, this is kind of selfish for us, but one of the, things we talked about a lot in the O-line switch going into last year and you moving from guard to center, the difference, some of the differences between you and Morse, one of the differences was your longer arms. And
I have a lot longer arms.
And how that can help you in a multitude of ways at center. Just talk about how your longer arms allow you, whether it's, jumping guys like this or from a leverage perspective, like what it allows you to do at that position where arm length isn't really a standard thing for a lot of centers.
Yeah, here it allows me to get on the guy so much quicker. So he's trying to shoot forward to get me. I'm able to just get my arms around him. I get that shoulder first and I pull him into me. And the pass game helps me a lot, especially in like passing off stunts. Yeah. I could get extension and I could push the guy away. When a lot of guys have the shorter arms, they have to wait, let that guy come to them. I can attack first. Yeah. Or last year with guard, I'm able to throw my left hand as a feeler, and then I can reach with my right because I don't have to wait for him to come to me.
Beautiful. Yeah, great stuff. The passing of the stunts, I tagged you in a bunch of those the last few days. I mean, that is something that going back and watching you and Osiris and David Edwards work together to pass off stunts. It's something that, during the season, we don't get a lot of time to do deep dives, but I did a deep dive and that length, as Anthony said, that length it's incredibly important on those stunts. Cause again, the D linemen, they're not getting into the body of you. And so now you're able to just snap those off and pass them and receive the looper that's coming over the top.
Yeah, because the longer you are, you have extension, you get like they can hit their first move, but they're still not right on you. Like if they get into you, they hit their move, you lose that tenth of a second they're by you. But since I have length, I can play with them a little bit longer and then get back if I need to. And it takes them just a second longer to get around me.
No doubt. So moving on to some blitz pickup, couple plays of blitz pickup. And so this is a 21-yard touchdown to Mack Hollins. You kind of alluded to it earlier. You called it the load front. Talk about that front and how that gives you guys a hard time at times. And then of course, talk about how motion helps offensive lineman and or Edwards on this play, and maybe how that can change things. And then the importance of staying level with guys next to you.
Yeah, I would say just start off like this is what we work every Thursday. When I was saying that, like we come up, we do different fronts, how we pass games off.
Yeah.
So this is just something like the Rams, they love doing. So we repped it many, many times. So as soon as I come up, I see this, I instantly turn around and like, Josh, load front. So he knows, all right, expecting something. The next thing I'm doing, so I see 3 bigs to the right. I see, all right, is anyone rotated down to the right? I see it's 3 over 3. Safety's not coming. No one else is coming. So I'm looking back, telling Dave, hey, you got 56. So now he's, man, you're going to see him tap his helmet and point. That's just telling Josh, running back, that's my guy.
Yep.
So he's thinking, so we're thinking on the right side, we're 3 for 3 over here. That's changing. Now you're going to see Dion widens out further. He's like, okay, Dave's got 56. I'm basically one-on-one with 97. If he goes inside, Dave's watching me anyways. So he gets out even further, like he loves to do. And then
that.
so they work.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So how they work out, they worked out with each other. They talk it out. So in this case, they're like, all right, we're going to go one-on-one with each other. So you're going to see Dave actually go across the line and pick up the guy one-on-one. So he's not letting him come to him. He's going to take it to him first and let Dion get space so he could play one-on-one out there. Then we're going to be 3 for 3 on the right side.
And then that motion, so Josh calling Ray Davis back in, and then that makes 56 kind of like...
It shows if he's in man, and it helps me as a center out a lot. Like, okay, is he going to come? Like, is he chance? Like, if he follows out, okay, we don't even have to worry about it. But he comes back in the box. Just we have no other threats out to the right, so we can easily just keep him on.
Man.
That's something that you guys started doing. We saw it in camp. Anthony and I saw it in camp at St. John Fisher is this alignment and bumping the running back out wide. One, in the passing game, it helps get that running back out there quicker and avoid any type of disruption from a D end, dog tacking and knocking him off his route, getting him out. But it also, again, as you said, pre-snap helps you as a center a lot because you can identify whether it's zone versus man, but also identify if that linebacker can come, if he is, a plus one and being added into the rush. Really interesting stuff. I love Blitz pickup, man. It's some of my favorite film. And to go back and watch some of this stuff. And again, guys, what's funny is like anytime we have players on in the film room, more times than not, I just get some plays. I send it to him and we kind of chat about it. My man Connor over here was like, no, these are the plays. These are the plays we should talk about. Let's flesh out some QB sneak stuff.
We got a lot.
I was like, wow, all right, this is going to be a fun one. And as you guys have heard so far, it's so interesting to hear it from the center position. So here's another big play, 34 yards to Dawson Knox. So I want you to talk about, were you setting the protection here versus Josh? This was a game that you said, hey, take a look at some of those snaps from the Colts game because they did some funky stuff with some looping, some stunts, some games. So talk about setting the protection and who Josh is identifying. Is he throwing it, hot off a certain guy here? Walk us through this play from beginning to end.
So coming up, I have full control of the protections, do whatever I want, but Josh has final say. So if he sees something like here, we're in 5-man pro, like James Cook he's out of there. Like as soon as the ball snapped, he's out of there. So it's just 5 of us. So we need to take the most immediate threat. So 20 is up on the line to start. So I want to take care of like the level threat first. So we start with him, but now 45 starting to break the plane. So I'm alerting Josh like, hey, like if he steps forward right now, he's the most immediate threat. I got to take that. Then Dave knows he's got the second, third, and we're leaving you the widest.
Right.
So in case like that, like Josh knows we're in 5-man protection. He might be like, all right, I want to be hot right. So I could see that coming and send me left, even though we're supposed to be going the other way. So like stuff like that happened to Detroit, just like he has final say, or maybe he sees something differently than I do and just wants to be protected one way. So he automatically has the final say. But here we're going, think of going widest. You come up 20 or 45. Someone has to have James Cook and man. Like they're not both going to come. Like, or it's simple. Pass right to James. Yep. Yeah. So we start with going 20 and say here, you're going to see me point to 45. Like, hey, like if he comes right now, like we know. So the way Dion sets, he's checking. So you see him look back in the 45 when I start saying that. So he knows, all right, I can't just fly out of there to the 20 because that's going to screw over Dave and me. Right. So he's going to set a little bit more vertical to see everything. If 45 drops it all, as soon as his hip turns, he goes eyes right out to 20 right now.
Right, yeah.
And then you're going to see Dave do the same thing. And I throw my right hand just in case anything comes down, just to keep presence over there. 45 turns, I'm yelling go right away. And I know I have the first thing that comes in my gap, and that happens to be the DN. They do a loop, and we're able to just all pick it up.
Man, there's so much happening. And like you being able to break it down. And I think this ties into some of the things in 2024 and in 2023. Massive, cross my fingers here. I'm very superstitious. No jinx on this whatsoever. But you guys have been, as a group, the past 2 years, a lot of health up front and guys being able to stick together, that starting unit. Talk about what that means. Like even just this small example right here, like all of like the verbal, but also nonverbal cues and communication that's happening. And like how important is all those reps that you guys see together, like on those Wednesdays and Thursdays and in games where you're able to build that chemistry and rapport with one another?
Yeah, it's huge. Like chemistry is the number one thing for offensive line. Like I want to know how Osiris and Dave are taking steps next to me. Like we don't want to be jumbling up our feet. Just easy stuff like that. Like Dion likes in pass pro, like he wants to get as wide as he can, be on the island by himself. So you just learn how to play with that space and just little stuff you just pick up over time, how everyone just plays with each other. And then like the biggest thing is like just trusting the guy next to you. Like here, I know like Saibo knows I'm going to have a right hand just in case, like right off the bat, if that guy puts it in, like I can stone him or I can pull him across with me. He knows that, like, and he also knows Spencer's setting vertical with his left hand up. Mm-hmm. And as soon as he sees the end cross, he's coming right back in. Same thing with Dave and Dion. Like I know he's looking inside, and as soon as that hip's going, he knows I'm right there with them and Dave's right there. So just so many things, just trust. And that just comes with just playing longer and longer with each other.
And I love that technique you're talking about. You know, he's what Connor's describing is often referred to as a drag hand.
Yep,
and
exactly.
You know, your eyes are over here. You know, Spencer's Brown's eyes are outside, but he has his left hand. You know, that drag hand. And talk about that. Talk about how using that technique and how important and how your drag hand is almost an extension of your eyes. If anything hits your hand, you're picking it up.
So I would say like, people might be just watching like, oh, he just has a hand out. Like that's not doing anything. But in reality, that dragon hand's really kind of just making that defensive lineman just hesitate a second long. It's like, all right, is he actually blocking me? Or what is it? And that allows our guards or tackles get on that guy right now. And then the other thing is it's a feeler. Like, so if I feel anything on that right hand right now, either I can post it up, something's coming across, or if that momentum's fast enough, I can pull it to the left side. Then Osiris is looking for someone coming across, or he could go out and help Spencer right now. So it's just easy stuff. It's just another, like you said, another extension. Like it's almost like my eyes on the right side of my body. Like you just get so used to natural, just feeling things out and working it out that way.
You mentioned, you know, you said it a couple of times here, but so if you feel something on that right hand, on that drag hand, and in terms of you like stoning him or posting him up or taking him with you, is that just purely like the angle that someone would take into you and how you feel, like you're feeling how he's like coming into your body, and then you're deciding like, okay, can I anchor and stall him, or do I bring him with me? Is that just like feeling that out? Okay.
So I would think here, like, so if I set like that and I felt 95 play into me right away, like I would post it for a second till I feel so. But then I know I'm like, all right, something either has to be coming to me. Like they're not just going to do this for fun. Yeah. And if that end from the left still looped in, I'll just wait there. Or he might go all the way around, and then I'll start trying to almost turn into a run block and push him back in the side, and we'll literally forcefully push that everything to the right, and then Josh could step up to the left. Just stuff like that. Like it's more just feeling than just a reaction after that. And if he plays into me, then just stone it, and we'll take it from there.
Man, the science of playing offensive line, man.
And you know what's great about this film room so far, Connor, is that the little things prior to the snap that, you know, the average person, even guys that watch like us that watch a lot of film, we're not noticing and picking up on all the time. You know, Deion Dawkins realizing, okay, I can kick out a little more because I'm one-on-one with this edge. Jared Verse, you know, little things like that happen prior. That so much happens prior to the snap, and the average fan doesn't really pick up on it. So it's great to hear some of those nuggets and some of the details from you, again, at a critical position at center. So let's dive into a few more questions after this film. So when you're playing center, what is your average playing weight? And was it any different than you were playing when you were playing at guard?
No, exact same the last 2 years, 328 I like to play at. That's every Thursday, every Friday morning weigh-in, always 328. I like to be the exact same weight.
Every Friday?
Yep, every Friday.
Okay.
Oh, damn. How, I guess they're just, how hard is it for you, or maybe not, like, especially at this point in your career, like for you to maintain like your playing weight? Or are you just like, are you just in a strict regiment, you know what to eat, when to eat? Like, I guess I'm always curious, obviously you guys work out so much, but how important diet is and how it all comes together, especially for you to like consistently maintain a consistent weight. Consistently, it's not hard for me to maintain it, but you never want to go too off your diet where you're blown up too fast, or like my thing is like, I'll lose weight real quick. Like if I'm not eating what I need to, like next thing you know, like I'm 315, like
getting down like slimmer, like I know like right where my comfort level is, and then just playing it so long, like like I'm gonna lose between 13 to 15 pounds during the game. Like I sweat a lot, just stuff like that. So I know the next day hydration is really important. Get the water weight back. Monday is recovery with that. Tuesday, start eating more. Wednesday, then you're fully back, and then Thursday, Friday, just taper things in. Then Friday and Saturday, just again hit the hydration. So you might be a little bit over the 328 right there, but that's more just water weight. So you're prepping yourself because you're going to lose a lot during the game.
Yeah, lose, hydrate, make some pizzas, eat some pizzas,
yeah,
add the weight back on. Yeah, that
does. I actually lose weight during pizza parties because I'm cooking and I'm in the oven the entire time. So other guys are gaining weight, but I'm losing weight while I'm doing it.
Sweat it out. I love that. That's how hard you're working, even with the pizzas. That's awesome.
These guys eat like it's a full restaurant in my house right there. Like
Alec Anderson was talking about it. We're all eating and there's so much going on, but like Connor's just cooking them out and he's making different kinds.
The thing is, no one's allowed in the kitchen unless you're my wife or you're just passed through. Like you can't just hang out in the kitchen. Like it is a work zone. So like I would do it. Like I have a giant island. So guys will line up on the other side of the line on the island. Like they try to get there early. The first guy, right where the pizzas come out, they get placed on the trays. They're gone so quickly. And then Cromer's wife, Dawn, she's the runner. Like she'll take like food around the other guys, but guys will wait. So you have about half the guys upstairs and then wives, kids, everyone's invited too. And then other guys will be down in the basement. And if you're in the basement, you get the leftovers basically. Like it doesn't make it there. So they're wondering where all the food's at. And then you have Osiris Torrance that's sitting right there at the beginning, just hammering all the food first and it's like down there. Yeah.
Oh, I love that. Oh, that's awesome. We were talking about it. Eric and I were talking about it offline after we spoke with Alec Anderson. We were like, there's like a lot of interesting nuggets from this pizza party stuff. I would need to know like the ins and outs. I love that you gave us a little peek into how it works. And how
Connor, let me ask you real quick too. What if you had one go-to pizza to make for the rest of your life? What would it be?
That's a good question.
It's probably the hardest question we've asked this entire episode.
Yeah, I would honestly probably do a Detroit style, like just nice. Like it's thicker but still light. That I say that goes so quickly. That's the number one pizza everyone just hammers. But the number one thing that everyone loves, and it's my baby, my specialty, is a cheesesteak calzone I make. When I say it's gone within 15 seconds, it comes out in the oven. People don't even let it cool down. It's gone. People are burning their hands for it.
We need an invite, man. Like
that
sounds amazing.
If you come, buyer beware. Like these guys will run you over for it. They don't play around.
That's funny. Alec Anderson was also telling us something about you do like a couple of them in like muffin tins or something like that.
So we have to do appetizers and everything because if you try to just go right in with the main entrees, these guys just eat it. So like you got to make a bunch of appetizers to kind of hold them over. They keep them a little bit busy so I can get ahead on the pizzas, get like 4 or 5 out before they start eating. So we'll do meatballs, either different kind. Like I'll make meatballs from scratch, either with like an Asian zing sauce or like a red marinara. Then we do like little steak bites I'll make up, and then the pizza muffins we'll do. So I'll literally make a pizza in like a muffin tray. They puff up, and then people dip them in the sauce, and they enjoy them.
Sounds amazing. Oh my god, yeah, they sound amazing. That's the science of football and the science of pizza making. This is pretty sick. Going back to your 2024 season, this most recent season, who's the most difficult defensive tackle, or maybe it could be an edge that somehow, lined up on the interior from time to time, but the most difficult interior defender you had to play against in 2024?
That I had to play against, it's Chris Jones, easily. Like, there's not many like him. The only better interior defensive lineman in the league is Dexter Lawrence. I'd say those two are in a whole nother level.
Very fair.
So you grew up in Pennsylvania, right?
Yep. Right outside Scranton.
Now, Sean McDermott has a thing with Pennsylvania players, Philly players. But what is it about that Pennsylvania lifestyle, upbringing, and football, for that matter, that is so appealing to Sean McDermott, maybe? But it's even especially when you talk about coming to Buffalo. Yeah,
I would say, especially with the area I'm from, it's a small town like Buffalo here. So that was another big selling point for me. But just football has another way of life in Pennsylvania. And everyone talks about Florida, Texas. I lived in Texas for a while, so I get that's a whole nother level. Facilities, everything there, that's insane. But just the small town vibes of Pennsylvania, it's all about football and wrestling. And then for women's field hockey, those are like the three big sports, especially on the eastern side of Pennsylvania.
Oh, that's very good to know. Second career, life after football. Do you have any aspirations, anything on your radar, something that, you might want to try down the road when you finally hang them up?
Not too sure. I talked about this. I'd love to be a stay-at-home dad. Kids. But everyone wants me to open a restaurant. That's what I was like everyone's like, you got to open a restaurant. I'm like, when I'm done, I don't want the stress of being maybe like a food truck, something like a pop-up shop, something like that. Like I just keep myself busy. Like now I've actually like this offseason, I've getting the baking game. So stuff like that. Maybe like I'll sell cookies online, do like an online store, stuff like that. Just keep myself working a little bit. Yeah, exactly.
Oh no, man. I like that. That's a good move. And if you have the pizza making and all that, and then the baking, you can make some money. I understand why.
My wife yells at me all the time. She's like, if I'm gaining weight, it's because of you. Like she's like, I enjoy trying everything, but like I'll have to have guys over. Like, all right, I'm trying new recipes, and the guys will come over. Like guys will line up for who's ever in town to come over and try in the off season. But my wife usually has enough with me, just trying new things because she's tired of eating everything, and she's like, I don't want to gain weight because of this.
And usually it's the other way around, right?
Yeah, exactly.
All right, last question. We'll get you out of here. Any updates on contract talks, long-term commitment to Buffalo? Any updates in that department?
Yeah, we've had talks as early on. As soon as I got back from the Pro Bowl, like talks started going. Tabled that for right now. Still got a year left on my contract. Not worried about it. Played out. And then I would like to stay in Buffalo long-term. One, moving cross-country sucks, especially now I have my daughter. So I would like to stay put and love Buffalo, love the guys in the locker room, love the fans, love the town, everything about it. So I'd love to stay here, but you know how football is. Sometimes business doesn't work out, and nothing against anyone here. It's just how it works out sometimes.
Yeah, sometimes just nature of the game with how it goes. But we've enjoyed breaking down your tape.
Appreciate that.
With your time. And even going back to, we did a lot of studying your stuff coming from Dallas once, announced the signing here. So we've been watching your tape for a while. And
all the way back to Penn State, to be honest.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, good call going back to Penn State. So it's been a joy to watch you, come to this organization and then move from guard to center and what you've been able to do on the field. And it was awesome to be able to chop it up with you here.
Thank you. It was a lot of fun. I really appreciate you guys having me on.
That's awesome. Yeah, these episodes we really cherish being able to get you guys on because we end up saying this every episode at some point. There's so much of the physical element of football that's talked about, rightfully so, right? The violence of it, the physicality, but like what it takes to, the strength and conditioning and everything and the God-given ability, all of those things. But there's so much from the neck up that is what separates the bad from the man from the good from the great from the Hall of Fame, however you want to label them. And it's just awesome to be able to get you guys to come on and allow Eric and I selfishly to have you answer questions that we have and be able to talk ball with you, but allow you guys to just put on display how friggin' smart you guys are. And especially for a position like yours that I think people know has a little more mental side to it. It was awesome just to let you be able to showcase that today.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I love just talking ball and just that. And I love talking cooking and food too.
Yeah. All right.
Always good. Best of both worlds.
You could do a podcast about that someday. There you go.
I don't know. I like if someone else wants to talk about it and they do an overlay. Let me just work on it. That would be the greatest thing. Because Dion tries to get me all the time. Like he's like, you got to make videos. And I was like, I just enjoy cooking for people and doing that. Like I don't need to make video or content like that.
No, thanks again, man. This was awesome. Of course. I know the fans were gonna appreciate this, and we'll get you back in the film room in the very near future, man.
Sounds Connor, good to me. I'd love to be back.
Of course. Thank you. Yeah, you take it easy, man.
You too. See you guys
later, Connor. Man, it was awesome. Good times, breaking down tape, breaking down food stuff. Oh, I didn't know he said getting into the baking game. Honestly, if he stays in Buffalo, you get like a pizza and a baking food truck, set them up outside during game days or something like that. Oh my God. Just, it writes itself. Do we need to start like a Cover One baking or like some
I'm messaging him right now. Like, hey, we could do all that overlay stuff, like whatever you need, but we can help you now.
Cover One. Everybody's like, oh, like what's the next branch or the next like step for Cover One? We're like food. Everyone's like, what? You're like, just give it a chance.
Pizza and baking.
Oh, man.
Thanks to Connor. No, that was as you guys know, when you bring O linemen in, it's always a treat because one, the Bills have some great personalities, first of all, when it comes to offensive line. But secondly, what it takes to play that position.
Yeah.
And we talked about with Alec that they're not highlighted enough. And so, to have a point man for Josh Allen and the Bills offense in Connor McGovern to join us, I'm sure you guys realize how important he is to the Bills offense. And hopefully those conversations do, get ramped back up, maybe even during the summer, before camp starts. Typically Bean does open a little window right around that time. But it is nice to hear that there's some prelim talks to extend him that happened already. But of course, now it's like, okay, it's focused on the draft, and hopefully they can revisit that later.
Yeah, and it'll be nice to see how they can maintain that continuity going forward. Deion locked up, Spencer Brown locked up, and we'll just see kind of what happens along the interior from guard to guard, and having McGovern in the middle, and just, what he's meant to this offensive line. The intelligence was awesome to see him put on display in this game, and even just the little domino effects that he got to show. Like, I'm doing this, so Dave Edwards is doing this, Dawkins is doing this. Like, you see the chain reaction that, and again, it requires the intelligence of the players at the end of the chain or the middle to understand and pass, but it all starts with that like center position, and or even hearing him talk about how integral David Edwards is to everything and how smart he is and what he means. It's an aspect.
And even the pizza parties, dude. I know it's like, it's a joke and like we're having fun about that, but that little thing of hosting pizza parties helps build that chemistry that we see on the field.
Yeah. And especially with the way he's talking about, like, it's not just the guys, it's like the guys bringing their significant others and their kids. Like it that stuff matters, like, to cool. As much as, and we're saying that as the people who we talk X's and O's and we break down tape and scheme and structure and good technique and evaluation, that camaraderie aspect, that rapport method, that matters a lot. And you heard Connor say it, and Alec Anderson said it the week before, chemistry, how important that is for the offensive line. It's not just the on the field piece, it's the off the field piece as well. And he's at the center of so many things on and off the field, no pun intended. I didn't even mean for that, but that's dude came on and shined in this episode. A tremendous get for us here on the show to continue this heater that we are on. Eric, as we start to say goodbye and wind down in this episode, anything on your mind or anything left that you want to say to the good folks?
No, I know we've done a lot of these player interviews the last few weeks during a time where a lot of you follow us for draft evaluations, scouting, profiles, all that stuff. Don't worry, we're still doing that. Just go to our social handles and whatnot. We're posting film there. We're doing our grading behind the scenes. It just, again, we said it last week, when these opportunities arise, we're going to do it week in and week out. And hopefully I can snag someone else for next week and we can do another film session. But if you're interested in any of that stuff, make sure to check the Discord server, the Cover One Insiders. They get some of the behind the scenes stuff when it comes to the draft and evaluation, but also all of our social media profiles have what we're doing as far as the NFL draft goes. It's right around the corner, so I get it. But we are doing it each and every day. Just check our social media profiles. Yeah,
it's several weeks away at this point. And like Eric said, if you guys have any specific questions that's draft related or evaluation related, get at us on socials. You could find Eric at, his individual handle at Eric J. Turner. He also runs the Cover One handle, which is at Cover and the number one. We also have the Cover One Film Room handle, which is Cover One Film Room. All of these are on Twitter. You can find myself on Twitter at @pro__Ant. You can leave a comment here on YouTube, anything and everything. You have questions, thoughts on anyone. Again, there's a good chance we probably posted some clips or some thoughts on them on social, but if not, maybe they're just somebody we haven't clipped, but we have individual evaluation notes on them, whatever form or fashion. You have questions in, get at us on Twitter, get at us on YouTube. If you're in the Discord, DM us, put it in the film chat, the Bills chat, whatever you got, whatever way you can, we will find a way to get back to you with any questions, thoughts, comments, concerns you folks have. Either way, we appreciate everybody for tuning in to this episode. All the various forms of support that we get. We talked about it last week. We really hope you folks enjoy these episodes. We really enjoy these episodes.
Yeah, we do.
So we hope that you folks do as well. And your support is what allows us to do this again, whatever form or fashion it comes in, whether it's just dropping a like, whether it's rating and reviewing or subscribing or word of mouth and telling somebody who likes the Bills or who likes football about the show or the brand or the channel, or if you're an insider or you give super chats, whatever it is, we're tremendously grateful for and appreciative of the support that you folks give us. So thank you very much to anyone and everyone. We hope you enjoyed this episode of the Cover One Film Room. If you're watching here on YouTube, please drop a like here on this video, turn on notifications for the Film Room playlist, subscribe to the whole Cover One channel here as well, if that's your thing. We have various amounts of Bills coverage for you pretty much every single day of the week, even in the offseason when it comes to the Buffalo Bills. If you're listening on one of the audio platforms, that's cool too. Please rate, review, subscribe there, word of mouth, telling family, friends, and loved ones all about the show, the brand, the channel. We greatly appreciate it. We hope you and your family and friends and loved ones are all doing well and staying safe. Be kind to one another. Take care of one another. For myself, Anthony Prohaska, for the founder of Cover One, Eric Turner, this has been another episode of the Cover One Film Room. We'll see you when we see you. Godspeed. And as always,